Welcome. We're here at the Beehive this afternoon with the block of the month, and we've got classroom people, and we're gonna just work on some new products that we've got in the shop this year, this summer. So block of the month. Did anybody bring their blocks with them today? Okay. Oh yeah. Bobby did, and so we're gonna go through her blocks.
I just brought a few, my latest ones.
And you are Allison Glass, right?
No,
Ruby.
we are
Oh, what are you? Ruby Star?
black and white. Whatever.
Okay, Lineworks. So this is
Lineworks, yeah.
this is Allison
But you-
Glass.
that's Ruby Star, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just some fabric I have at home.
Well, you have good taste.
Yes, you do, and I love that block. I love that block. Come on.
The morning class is packed full of people.
So
With the heat,
think that's
I
it.
imagine so.
yeah. So very nice. And you are line work, and then you've used from your own stash, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I love this one. This is good use of color. Really good use of color.
Number 70.
Very good.
That's where I'm up to, yes.
So this one really is stunning.
I like that one. Always like that fabric.
Yeah. I like the
The
polka dot next to it because it makes me think of a cake. Happy.
oh, this one, yeah,
yeah, a party for kids.
yeah.
It looks
Fun
so
polka dots.
happy.
Yeah,
And
I
that's that's a block I think you could make a whole quilt out of, just making those blocks.
that's right. Yeah. So, have you got any thoughts yet on how you're going to put it together?
I just know, I think I'm gonna outline them all, frame them all in black,
Okay,
like maybe
that's a
an
good idea.
inch and a half
Yeah.
sashing. And I'm gonna put cornerstones. And I think they'll all be different colors.
Good, good. That's gonna be pretty. Yeah. So I'm hoping that everybody's starting to think about getting theirs put together. Nancy Lowe this morning brought in a piece that I would imagine there were probably about, I want to say at least 10 pieces where she put them in each corner and then has this large area in the middle that's negative space, which she put in as a navy blue. And then she's machine quilted some of it, and she is going to be doing some hand stitching in it. But she's submitting that in, I'm thinking, September for a quilt show. So she was trying to get hers done pretty soon. So one of the things that there was many things this morning, but one of the things she did talk about, which I hadn't really thought of, when she does machine quilting, when I do machine quilting on something, I start it, and then when I finish it, I take one back stitch. She doesn't do that because that really does show as 2 stitches then, and she apparently doesn't want that. So what she was showing us, she also quilts on her fleece. Batting is what she uses, she adheres it to the back of the quilt, and then she quilts it, and she doesn't put her back on yet, because she does a method where she puts the back on after it's all quilted, and then she pulls it through. It's called a birthing method. So because she does not back stitch when she's finished, she ties off those lines of all her quilting, and I have not ever experienced that. I thought, well, that's something new. I did not know you should or could do that. But that keeps it from, you know how sometimes they'll pop up and they won't adhere, and that's why I always take that back stitch. So that's a piece of information. Just going to toss it out to you. She also said when she marks her machine quilting, she uses this. It's called a Hera marker, and what it does is you press that into the area that you're working in. It does a crease, and she can keep it then pretty good as far as her quilting. She did this piece, and so her machine quilting, and does this show up? Her machine quilting is absolutely gorgeous. It really is. And so I'm going to pass this around so you can see what she does. Well, that on a big piece like that, I can see why she probably doesn't want to do any back stitching. And her quilting is just beautiful. So that's one thing. We have in the store, just got them in last week.
Yeah, the books actually came 2 days ago, but the ruler came, just
So
about 10 days ago.
Stripology came out with number 4. You can finally get the 1/4 inch. You can get a cut now 1/2 inch, and you can get a cut at 3/4 inch. And so this has got a lot of, you can see it from the top here, how many little sections that you can get with this. But that's the 1/2. That's going to give you halves. So in our cutting, you can get 1/4 as you move it over, right? Yeah, you flip it, yeah. But this actually is going to allow you to do it on the first cut. Yeah, oh yeah.
Can I look at it after you show it?
Yeah. I'm going to pass this around. So with the blocks that we're making, it really does help to have, people have been using this. I use the big Stripology all the time, cut out everything really. It's rarely that I don't use it. And how many of you have used Stripology?
I don't even know what it is.
Okay, good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing, because I'm going to strike this over here and you can, if I look at it. All right, so Stripology. Ooh is right.
These other ones if you want to use it.
Ooh. So Stripology is, I'm going this direction.
Oh, yes.
This is Stripology. So,
Oh, you're good, April. You're good.
this is a cutting system where you lay down on your piece of fabric and then you put your cutter in and you just follow the trough. You don't have to do anything more than that. I like it because this is all grid, all of it. So it holds really, really well. So when I cut something out, and I'm gonna put this on the purple side, it seems to show it better. You can see it. In theory, you can see it better. So what happens is, there's several things nice about this. When you put it in, I hold it about this much. That's about all I have to hold it. It has markings for inch, and then the most common cuts on Stripology are the 2.5, which is the block. You don't have to think, you just put your rotary cutter in that trough and don't think. If you start thinking, it's over. And the other most common is 1.5. Well, with the new one, you can get 1 1/4, 1 3/4, and you weren't able to do that. You could do it, but you had to cut and you had to move it over. So the other thing that is, and this is just a side note on Stripology, the block or the quilt that I made last month of Battenberg, I was headed down here to buy a 12.5 inch ruler to square up, and then I looked at my Stripology and I thought, wait a minute. And so the 12.5 is right there. You just lay it underneath, and it just happened to be with the Battenberg way it was, I had a perfect line always to center on, and all you do is get into that. It's already marked. You do your cuts, you turn it, do your cuts, and so you can square up. Your halves are marked in white, the holes are marked in the black. So some of our people that are participating in this have been taking their fat quarters, and they've been breaking them down into small areas that you could cut down to, and you could use them a little bit easier. And that is something that I'm gonna iron this real quick. So by doing that, you've got a little more usable pieces. that you can quickly just grab. And that is these. So all the fat quarters can get broke down and used in a fat quarter, you can get very quickly a 10-inch block, and you're gonna use anything less than that because your blocks are 6.5, and you're gonna have 4 5-inch blocks and 1 2.5-inch strip. I've already used this because I did some cutting this morning, but I'm going to show you how easy it is just to cut this all up. And the reason why a lot of the students are using this method is because it's very quick to get it and usable, and you're not having to stop like I am right now and iron a piece and cut a little piece and all that. You're going to be able to cut a lot faster by doing this. All fat quarters can do this. I probably should use one that's... So I'll show you how to do this. And this is basically how you do stripology. I put mine on boards. Oh, I hate to do that with that one. I hate that because I like to fussy cut that one.
This one.
Yeah, that one.
Isn't that about right?
I do that, I press it, and then put them in a flat carry pouch after you toss it. That way I can take them out, don't have to press them, I can cut.
Way to go. There you go.
Really cheap, your idea was great.
So this is how you use stripology. And I press them out because if you have any crease at all, you're gonna skew it just enough. So you press it with the 22, and you're gonna put this up here like so. And then I always say, pick a line, any line. And where does the rubber cutter go?
I have one of these,
Yeah. That one. Yep, that's what I need. All right. So you put your hand about here. That's about all you have to hold it. Just make sure this line is all the way from on the edge of that. And you just do a cut. And you're going to be doing a cut at 10 because you're going to get 2 10-inch squares out of this. And then you're going to get 4 5s and 1 2.5. So your cuts are going to be 10, 15, and 17.5. So good blade, because this morning it did not have this much luck. All right, so now we're going to turn this like so. This is all the waste. That's all you got so far. You're going to turn it like so. Again, pick a line, any line. And just so long as I've got that 10.
And if you have the selvage on top, then you know that you're...
Yeah, I'm in good shape then. Yep. So it's... And the 10, so there's my 2 10s. You're never going to use on this anything less than the 6.5. So the 10, if you have to 6.5-inch cut, you're going to have it right there. And then
Anything larger than 6.5.
nope, you're not going to for this. Yeah, anything larger, you're right. All right, and then make sure I got 10. Oops. Okay. You have to sink it in there, and this is how you use stripology. That's it. There's a lot more that you can do with stripology, but for the most part, that is basically how you work the thing. So I've got the 2 10s, 4 5s, and the 2.5-inch strip if I need a long strip.
Because again, like for everyone's, no matter which colorway you decided, you either have 60 or 70 fat quarters. You don't need all of those for this project. And so there's a lot of people that are already making their bonus quilts out of their leftover strips because it was it's a stash builder thing. And so that way, if you're trying to use a little bit of all of your, 70 or 60 fabrics, then you know that you can already have them so they can be set up to use a layer cake pattern out of your, out of your leftover scraps from the City Sampler or a charm pack piece. And so that way too, because you're cutting for multiple projects, because but now you have a color palette to build off of.
And the thing I think that makes it go a little bit faster is you're not having to iron and press out and get it ready every time. These are going to lay flat and they're going to be ready to go. Which is, I think, just now, not all of them am I going to cut like this, because I'm going to want to fussy cut some of like those, especially I've got the line work, so like her squirrel and things like that. So the book, she has, and why it's a good resource for you is on this book in particular. She's got listed all of the Stripology rulers, and you go into you get the QR code out of here. You just use your smartphone, get that, and then she's gonna give you tutorials on how you use the Stripology. How she does Stripology, as far as when she does her cuts, she cuts larger, makes these cuts, and then she cuts smaller. So it's you have to kind of get your head wrapped around how she does it. It's right. When I do it, I have to always kind of do a play one just to get it in my head. That's how you do it. But she'll have you, like for this 2 3/4, she's going to have you cut at 0, which would be the start. And then she's going to have you cut at 5 1/2, 11, and 16 1/2. And then you're going to move your ruler over 1/4 inch. And then you're going to start with cutting at 12, 8, 2 1/2, 8, 13, and 19.
I love that the QR codes are in the book.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And once you see her videos, they're really, really excellent. But that's what I used this morning over here to cut these real quick. Now I fussy cut Mr. Squirrel there, but to get these pieces,
skunk.
It's skunk. Yeah, it's a skunk. You're right.
We were probably thinking squirrel because of Reedy Nook from Ruby Star.
I'm still upside down, huh? So I did these, and using this little Stripology, I was able to cut these up pretty darn fast. So it really is going to make it go a little bit quicker for you. It's also awfully good for squaring up. So and plus she's got lovely little quilts in this, and you can do the flying geese, which you hadn't been able to do before. And the other little thing that she does include some very, very nice quilts in this book. It's also going to allow you to get that 7/8 cut, which is what you need for half square triangles. No way. I mean, there was just no way around that. You need the 7/8 cut, so you can get it. And it is by making your cut and then sliding it over, and there it is to the 8th mark, and then you're going to be able to get it. Does that make any sense at all?
No.
No. But I think with practice,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. Did you have a chance to look at this?
Yes.
Okay. Did you all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then this is the book.
And you have
But
those
do they
in
come
stock?
together?
Mm-hmm. Yep, because they just came
Separate.
in.
Mhm, yeah. The thing, if you have Stripology at all, she does include in this book the QR code and how you do everything with all of them. So it doesn't just pertain to one of them. But this is very, very good for squaring up, and you've already got it marked here on the bottom as far as you flip it around to this side, and then you can do your squaring up. So that's how I do a lot of my squaring up now, is just with the Stripology. I think it's well worth it. So any questions? Okay. Let's see, what else do we need to talk about this morning? I was trying to think.
I know April has a really good idea for her sashing of what April is going to do. She's looking for an ombre.
ombre.
and then she's gonna color fade her rose.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So I'm sorry if you were waiting to not share that idea with other people.
She jumped in.
So sorry if I released that
So do you have
information
any idea
early.
what colors? Ombre?
I have to go find them as soon as we're done.
Okay.
She doesn't want a metallic, so a
I don't want the
non-metallic
metallic in
ombre.
So I just,
Mhm.
yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Because I think the metallic would take away from the overall quilt.
Which one are you?
If you were doing Ruby
mine
Star,
work.
I think it could work. I think if you're doing Ruby Star, it would, but that's just because there's a lot of metallic in Ruby Star. But if you're doing line work, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that's kind of an. Are you going to border them and then set them on ombre? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it'll really be. Is it similar to the maroon layout in the quilt? But
Haven't
instead of
decided yet.
yeah.
I'm just running with it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, there's still plenty of time to decide that.
When you
And-
do the
and
ombre, are you going to go color light to dark? You are going to maintain that. Okay. That'd be good.
And the retreat, I believe, is now live on our website. I believe you can sign up for the City Sampler Block of the Month retreat. It's in November. So at the beginning of the year, when everyone was filling out the interest to do the Block of the Month, we asked if people were interested in a retreat, if they wanted 2, 3, 4, 5 days, if they wanted food, not food, and the majority of the people wanted a 2 to 3 day retreat, and they wanted catering. They didn't want to divide up lunches and stuff, and so there's going to be some catering, but not all catering, and it is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So it starts Thursday morning at 9 and it ends Saturday at 4. So it's a finishing retreat. It's just a time for everybody who, if they want to get together and hang out. Jan's going to be there most all the time. I believe I will be there most of the time. And there'll just be 16 spots open for the retreat.
So what's nice is you're going to have that time, first of all, and I think that you can run down and get the supplies that you need, which is huge. And then the thing is just kind of collaborating with other people. I think that's the thing I liked about the retreats is that I start getting more and more and more ideas on what to do as far as how we're going to put this together. So the thing is, when you kind of think in terms of on your blocks,
I think
when
it's
you
on
start
it should
thinking
be on the
about putting
website.
them together, if you're going to want
It's
to
the first part. It's way before
block
Thanksgiving.
these and frame them, especially if you're using a lot of them, like I am using a fair amount of the dark ones. So I got to kind of think now in terms of I want to probably keep these more light, especially if I'm going to frame them. So
And
I
clasps?
kind of went back and forth between some of the ways to put it. I thought I was going to go magenta, but now I'm looking at this
Well,
two-tone,
probably gotta
and I'm
look
thinking,
for
well, maybe that would be a
November.
good
Go
way
all
to
the
do
way to
that.
November,
So
yeah.
this one I was kind of thinking about, frame here, get back into, I was thinking in terms of this, and now I'm starting to kind of see that maybe this one would be kind of a fun way to put this thing together.
This one.
This
Here,
was
I'm gonna
probably
use
more
your phone as an
traditional
example.
for,
Perfect. So the retreat is the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th
That's why I was like.
of November.
November. I was asking because I have another class in November.
So anybody else have any other questions at all? How far are you in there?